Hey everybody, what's going on? We are in my kitchen. I'm going to talk about some of my food preservation things I've got going on. Here we've got just basic kombucha. It's really cool to make your own kombucha if you've never tried that before, especially if you use your own fruit to flavor. This is the primary ferment, so you don't put any fruit or spices or herbs or anything. You just put the black tea, the sugar, and then you put your SCOBY in and it ferments it. I took a lot of it out already to make this, which is the secondary ferment where you put your fruit in. So I'm not using homegrown produce, obviously, because this is pineapple, but I also made one with black cherries. I used an extract, and I just made a bottle of black cherry kombucha from black cherries that I foraged, which is really, really fun. Also got some cider happening. Most of it's in the fridge right now in the secondary ferment. Or I should say it's just being bottled and carbonating in the bottles. But it's really easy. You just take apple juice. You can juice your own apples or buy it in the store, and you can pour in the cider yeast on top, and then there's an airlock that keeps bugs from getting in or contaminants from getting in. And you can get carbonated alcoholic cider within 3 or 4 days, which is great. And I have it on a heating pad here, which kind of makes the whole process go a little bit more smoothly and quickly, especially now because we're in the fall and it's starting to get really cold. And I keep the house cold. There's some of my cider. That's if you sit it out, it's going to carbonate much quicker. I had one bottle that wasn't carbonating in the bottle and another bottle that was. So this one wasn't really carbonating, so I brought it out of the fridge, and I'm letting it just kind of sit in room temperature and warm up a bit. And it's probably going to carbonate and get nice and fizzy, which is how I like my cider. Oh yeah, chaga extract. Got some ground up, or got some chaga chunks from eBay. It's kind of like a sustainably harvested chaga product, and I blended it in my blender, poured all the powder in to the jar. You fill up the rest of the jar with vodka. You can fit quite a bit in because it fills all the nooks and crannies. And then you leave it in for about 8 weeks, and you shake it every day. It's kind of fun, so I can remember to do it. And then the trick is to do a double extraction. So you can look up instructions on how to do a double extraction, which involves not just alcohol, but you strain out the alcohol and do a hot water extraction, because there's different components in chaga that come out in the water. So that's really a good way to have a super high immune system booster, super high antioxidant supplement. This would cost over $100 with that many chaga. That many milliliters of chaga extract. So make your own, a lot cheaper. Got some seeds and some herbs from throughout the year. Not all of this was grown here, but got my pecans, aronia honey, which I don't know if I'll do a video on that, but essentially I don't really like making jam and jelly because I'm adding a ton of sugar and pectin's a hassle. So what I realized though is you can just take, I just juice aronia either in a juicer, or you can mash it up and strain it with a little bit of water, and then you just cook it down in a pot. And then when it starts to concentrate, I let it cool for a little bit, throw some honey in, and it gets nice and runny. I'm not cooking the honey. That's why it's cool, because you are heating the aronia, but you technically don't even have to. If you can just add the juice into your honey, you can keep it raw. And keep all those antioxidants, but you just want to make sure you don't add too much moisture, because then the honey can ferment and potentially get contaminated, which is really not good. So funny enough, this did not contaminate the honey. I can open it up and it smells and tastes just like normal honey. So I don't think I'm having any sort of contamination issues, but maybe I'm wrong, so be careful. So that's a really cool way to preserve your fruit without having to add extra sugar beyond the honey or pectin or anything like that. I've got some black raspberry leaves for tea, tulsi. I think that's all tulsi. That's great. Honey, holy basil. I've got some black walnuts in the back there. Just a really good idea to try to preserve everything. And of course, I'm a nerd, so I put the botanical names on everything that I am jarring or canning. I could show you the freezer, but it's kind of dirty, so I'm not going to go in there. But actually, there's a lot of frozen berries like aronia, serviceberry, and mulberry is in there, which is another great way to preserve your harvest for the year. So, all right, I hope you got some ideas, and let me know if you have some other ways that you like to preserve your foods. Thanks for watching.